Thanksgiving's pretty dark.
You're not going to say that in the English accent?
What?
That you were just saying.
Oh, are you recording now?
I was trying to get you to record the history in the English accent again.
What did I say?
It's not the brightest.
It's not the brightest
of history.
Nice. Thanksgiving.
So I'm not going to count in because you know I'm recording now.
Yes.
Because that's our thing. Yeah.
I wasn't even finished setting up yet.
Yeah, I know. I'm a jerk. Welcome, dear listeners, to the Dinkin' Around podcast, where the only thing we're birthing is laughter. I'm your host, Jeff.
And I'm your better host, Becky. We are here to show that life after parenting still holds plenty of excitement, laughter, and some questionable financial decisions.
So open up that bar tab and let's roll those intro tunes. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, wah,
Is this Charlie Brown?
wah, 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 wah.
I like it.
That's why I was snickering to myself earlier.
Oh, good grief.
Oh, good grief. I'm going to hold the football and make you kick it.
Yeah, okay. It's Thanksgiving, so you've got to have Charlie Brown.
That's true.
Yeah.
Welcome to our Thanksgiving special, guys.
That's right. It's the one where thanks is given.
Wouldn't it be the thanks are given?
Okay. The one where thanks are given. I've made that note.
Yes.
Yes, grammar police.
I'm sorry.
You're just worried about getting canceled.
You know what? Yeah, I was looking up actual pronunciations of tribe names and stuff. I'm not about to get canceled over this. Our whole 2 listeners are going to cancel us.
I know. And they're probably, our children and family, so, and coworkers, who knows.
They can't cancel us. We birthed them.
Though we're going to start, even though this is the Thanksgiving episode, and we have some Thanksgiving things planned. Going to start with last night.
Band name of the week.
What?
Band name of the week.
Oh, band name of the week. That's right, and it's your turn too.
It's my turn.
Yeah. Okay.
Can't skip over that.
No. I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay. Go ahead. Are you ready?
Yes.
Wait. Do you want the drum roll?
Yes.
Do we need to give the disclaimer?
Again, no backstory. You can use it royalty free. All of the good stuff.
All the things.
Yes.
Okay.
Band name of the week is Straight Up Offensive.
Straight Up Offensive. I like it. It's a good one.
That is good.
All right. Now we can talk about game night last night.
Yeah.
One thing we are going to say, though, is that we're recording this a little earlier than usual because we're not doing our standard drinking.
No, we drank enough last week or last night to last a whole week.
And that's because we're getting too old.
Yeah. We are getting too old.
Damn it! I'm getting too old for this sound that comes from this gas pipe.
Well, that's funny.
That is. I wanted the original, and then I saw that, and I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we did talk last week about feeling our age, so it's pretty normal.
Definitely feeling our age. We only had,
I only had 3 drinks.
Yeah, I think
over,
that's all we did.
4 hours?
We tried a
Negroni
because our friends that were over had just come back from Italy, and that was one of the drinks they had over there. So we got a cheap knockoff version of it that was already pre-mixed.
Yeah,
we're lazy.
I think they were judging us, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
And then we had a Manhattan.
Yes,
and
that was the end one. And
yeah, and
y'all
I
enjoyed old fashions.
Us, but you had
I had my peanut
whiskey.
butter whiskey. Yes. And then Justin was kind enough to be our bartender for the Manhattans.
Yes, they were good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They reminded me a lot of those alcoholic gummies we got at the British store. Yeah. It almost tasted exactly like
I love that they actually knew what British store we were talking about when we brought that up.
Except they had a different location.
Well, yeah.
And we haven't been to that one because ours closed.
They're reopening another one in Addison, but they haven't opened it yet.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I don't know if they will have the fish and chips place.
Oh, that's too bad. But that deserves a...
We love our British goods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was a fun store to go to. Anyway, so enjoyed that. We had our ball board.
Ball board.
Did we talked about the ball board?
I
Didn't
think
we?
so.
Yeah.
Maybe we didn't. It was basically just a charcuterie of cheese balls.
Yes, I think we did that. So the dessert ones were tasty, and you made a delicious 3 milks.
I did. Tres leches.
Mm-hmm. Olay.
I've got some more in the fridge. I'm going to eat more today.
Mm-hmm.
And not regret a single bite.
Said, yeah. And we played some fun games.
Yeah.
The Telestrations After Dark was very funny.
It was very fun.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be better with more people, but yeah, it was, it was fun.
You have to, mental note for next time, if you're drinking at a game night, you must tier the games from sober
Yes.
to maybe not so sober to smashed might be too far because we're too old to get smashed these days.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you gotta figure out the difficulty of games.
Yeah, because you don't want to be like trying to figure out a game when you can't even figure out how to.
As we learned from the previous game night. But Lindsay redeemed herself this time.
Yes.
And she was able to play the game.
Yeah, that was fun.
So.
But again, that game was a newer game that was at the end of a game night when we were all drinking. That was a bad thing. So.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, let's go ahead and transition over to our Thanksgiving episode.
Thanksgiving.
So excited. First, we're going to talk about some of our favorite parts of Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So, do you want to go, ladies first?
Well, it's not Thanksgiving without my dad's stuffing recipe. And I say stuffing instead of dressing because I know it's a dressing thing here in the South. But growing up, we actually did put it in the bird. I don't do that these days because we smoke our turkeys and that doesn't work.
Plus you can get, what is it? Not botulism.
Yeah, you know what? People have been doing it for like 100 years. It's probably fine. Just make sure your turkey's cooked.
Yeah.
Make sure the stuffing's cooked. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
But then you get all like the juices of the turkey in there. So I got some turkey broth this year to try to
I'll try that. Because we tried the chicken broth last year.
Yeah, it was okay, but it's not great.
No.
So it's not Thanksgiving without my dad's stuffing.
That's good stuff. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. I enjoy it the most for several reasons. One, most of us, and I apologize, get 2 days off of work.
Yeah.
And
I used to.
So 2 days off is always nice. Get your extra long weekend. Food. I like food.
And it's good food
tell
too.
By what I look like. but
well, they don't know what you look like.
Oh, that's true. I look like I enjoy food.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
We both do. We both do a great deal.
And football. Football's always on. One of the favorite things I like too is the Macy's Day Parade.
Yeah.
Because that's the ushering of Christmas.
I like it because then after Thanksgiving dinner, I can start listening to Christmas music.
Yeah, like you haven't already.
You know what? I've dabbled, but I haven't made you.
You've been Christmas music curious.
I've been Christmas music curious. I've just been dabbling in my own time. But after Thanksgiving dinner, you cannot escape it.
We went shopping yesterday for a little white elephant gift for you, and the places that we went were playing Christmas music already.
Yeah,
so.
I loved it. And it was a Christmas party that I'll be going to, so it was Christmas white elephant stuff.
And lots of Christmas things. They're making some money.
Yeah.
And then family's always a nice thing.
Yeah, family is not as big of a thing here now that we're in Texas and it's just kind of us, but we're inviting my aunt over and it'll be nice, her and her husband and my cousin.
I'll definitely miss the kiddos because I always like having them, but it's their mom's Thanksgiving anyway. And Parker's probably eating Thanksgiving with your mom, right? So they're well taken care of.
Exactly.
Thank goodness for a nice family.
And I'm sure my mom will be happy about it because she'll have Parker and then my brother's kids as well. So almost all the grandkids there.
Yeah. Be smoking a turkey too, so that'll be fun.
And we get to have ham this year too.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to be quite the feast.
Yeah, which later we're going to have a favorite food facts and quiz, where I'm going to quiz you because I had to do the word association. So now it's your turn.
That's fair.
To do some shiz. But right now, I think you were going to do some Thanksgiving history, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got an intro for you. Ready?
Okay.
Maybe.
So get set to gobble up the real story of Thanksgiving.
which you've already previewed,
I like that.
is pretty dark.
A little dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It's not the elementary school presentation of kids with feathers that they make out of construction paper and everybody's getting along and it's wonderful and great. It's not that.
Were you usually the Indian or the Pilgrim in the Native American?
Because I had very long hair and it was often braided, I was usually the Native American.
Well,
because apparently long braided hair is synonymous with Native American if you're a white girl in Utah.
Since I was a stodgy white male.
You were the Pilgrim?
Yeah, although most of us were stodgy white males. But,
I don't know.
That's what happens in very heterogeneous Utah.
Yeah, I was very typecast. I was also Goldilocks in a school play, too.
Ooh, Goldilocks. Yeah. You got to tease the three bears.
Yes. Ooh. All right, to the history.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so little prehistory.
Ooh.
Because, Thanksgiving wasn't just an event that just happened willy-nilly like.
We're sorry. This doesn't always happen to us.
What?
Where we have some prehistory before history.
Yeah. There's usually a pill for that. So 6 years before the Mayflower arrived, which is apparently the ship that my family came over, I apologize to the world for that. But before 6 years before that, there was a slave trade. Shockingly enough, in America, we had a slave trade where Europeans were coming over and capturing Native Americans and using them as slaves. Shocking. So one of those people, which they captured, his English name was Squanto. His actual tribe name was Tisquantum. I believe I'm saying that correctly. I apologize in advance for anything I mispronounce.
You attempted to.
I did.
Your heart was in it.
He was captured and taken over to Europe, right? Surprisingly enough, the Catholic Church helped him escape his slavery.
I did not know that.
Which, go them. He eventually found his way to England, where he then learned English, and then he returned to North America in 1619.
Ooh.
So while he's gone, right, because of the slave trade and because Europeans were bringing diseases over like they do, there was a large plague that just completely took out a lot of the
Native
tribes.
Americans, yeah, because they didn't have the immunity built up to all that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So nearly every tribal member of, I think every tribe member of his tribe died.
Oh.
So he came back. He was the last surviving member of his tribe.
Mm-hmm.
So when he got back, he went to his village of Patuset. I don't know if that's right. He found only bones and his fellow tribesmen killed by the plagues.
Oh.
They didn't even have time to bury the bodies because it just took them out that fast.
That's insane.
So, realizing he's the last person, he then went to a neighboring tribe to try to join them. That was often what would happen, as if your village and tribe, then you would go and join another community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the leader of that tribe was threatened by him, and so they imprisoned him.
Oh, jeez.
Because, he's living a really great life.
Yeah, he is. Wow.
So, then the Mayflower comes, right? Well, this dude had been in England. He couldn't speak English. So he took it as his opportunity, saw it as his opportunity to escape yet again.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came and helped the Americans kind of settle. That's where the nice story of the Native Americans helped us
It was from. Just one?
It was just one dude. I mean, there were other people, too, that had learned how to speak English.
Mm-hmm.
But he was the main one. Okay. So he established himself as this key resource to the Pilgrims. He taught them how to survive. Apparently, he also taught them they needed to bathe. Because...
Really?
Yeah. So, I guess, as we know from a little bit of history, Europeans only bathed every so often. They didn't change their clothes very often.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very rarely fully naked at one time because they thought it was immodest.
Mm-hmm.
Native Americans, on the other hand, were very clean.
Because they were often very naked?
Well, I don't know. They were just clean people.
Okay.
They were not the savages that have been portrayed.
Of course not. You've got to vilify the other side.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to teach the Europeans proper hygiene because they didn't know it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Native
so I
Americans.
appreciate you for letting us not smell bad.
Yeah. Wash your balls.
So during this time, the Wampanoag, which is the tribe that had kind of taken in this dude and kind of imprisoned him. They decided, okay, now we're not going to imprison this dude anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they made a treaty with the Pilgrims that established an understanding that the tribe would look out for the Pilgrims against their enemies and vice versa. So they would basically back each other up.
Against other tribes?
Against other tribes,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and like Spaniards or I don't even know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they would basically be each other's bodyguard if necessary. So then the Pilgrims have their first successful harvest in the fall of 1621.
Mm-hmm.
So how do white people celebrate?
Eat.
Well,
food.
no. First,
Oh.
they shot their guns up in the air.
Oh.
Just to celebrate. They were excited they had their first harvest. So the Wampanoag tribe hears all these guns going off and think they're going to war. So they rush in
Oh, no.
to try to help defend the Pilgrims because that's the treaty they've made. And they find them just celebrating being dumbasses. So that's where we get our first Thanksgiving, is after that celebration, or after the first harvest, right? It's then when they have their first big feast before the winter. Because of the gun thing, though, that's why the Indians were there. They weren't invited. Right?
Wow.
It was all soldiers they had sent to try to defend the Pilgrims. Some experts say they were around 90 members of this tribe that came to the village to try to defend it. And then they ended up having a feast instead.
That's insane.
It's because it was just as part of the celebration.
They're like, hey, sorry,
Hey
Indian
guys,
friends.
sorry, we were just having a big party.
Yeah,
You want to come?
why don't you come on in?
You want to join our party?
Yeah,
And they were like, these dumb white people. This is some white people shit.
Seriously, yeah.
But
That's exactly what it was. But free food.
right? Right? So, yeah, they weren't invited, but they did end up having a big feast. Regardless, it was not the traditional thing that we have here, right? They usually, I believe they ate more Native American type dishes and spices and things because that's what they had. So, the conflict, or the relationship between these two tribes, though, was, not great. So they had this big feast, and then winter comes.
Are you talking about
the Pilgrims and the tribe,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Winter comes. Well, the white people hadn't planned enough or saved enough, I don't know. So they ended up stealing the provisions from the tribe.
Oh.
And then the war broke out again, right?
Oh, jeez.
Just all this back and forth. So that first harvest was followed by deadly conflicts between the colonists, the Pilgrims, and the native people, including but not limited to this tribe. So they were fighting with everybody, basically. The white people thanked and repaid the native people for their help in everything by seizing their land and enslaving them and all of those things, which we know about from our history. So, then the subsequent Thanksgiving celebrations that they would have often marked brutal victories over the native people. So that first one was for the harvest, right? And whatever. But then things like they beheaded the leader of the Pequot people. They celebrated that with a Thanksgiving. They also massacred the Pequot people, and they beheaded the Wampanoag leader. So that was in 1636 and 1676. So these wars are going on for a long time, because the first Thanksgiving was 1621. So clear all the way through to 1676, we're still fighting and celebrating our victories as white people with these big feasts, where the Native Americans are not invited.
Are you trying to ruin my Thanksgiving?
You asked for the history.
What? Apparently I didn't
know. So
know.
that's how it started. It became an official holiday in 1863, November of 1863, during the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln declared it an official federal holiday. He did it to try to improve relations between the northern and southern states, as well as the U.S. and all the tribal nations, trying to quell things, right? Because things still weren't great in 1863, clearly. But the thing is, it was propaganda. So he did make it a national holiday, but then they pushed this story of this wonderful feast of people coming together to try to build a deeper narrative of community within
Wouldn't
the
be the
country.
first time in history we've tried to do
No. So the holiday is based on propaganda,
that.
basically. Just a year prior to Lincoln declaring it a national holiday, a mass execution took place of Dakota tribal members. So, corrupt federal agents had kept the Dakota Sioux from receiving their food and rations and provisions. So finally, they're almost dead. At the brink of death, the Dakota Sioux people, fight back.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we need our food.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? And that resulted in the Dakota War of 1862. In the end, President Lincoln ordered 38 of the Dakota men to die from hanging. And he felt that Thanksgiving offered an opportunity to bridge the hard feelings amongst natives and the federal government. We stole all your land and all your food, and we're not giving you any.
And we're hanging your people.
But we're hanging your people. But we're going to make a holiday to bridge the gap. Just really, really self-aware. So Lincoln scheduled the first Thanksgiving for the final
your
Thursday.
Boyfriend,
my
Lincoln.
Boyfriend, Abraham Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
He's not sounding like such an upstanding dude right now. He scheduled Thanksgiving to be the final Thursday in November.
Mm.
And it was celebrated that day until 1939, when Franklin Roosevelt moved the holiday up a week in an attempt to spur retail sales during the Great Depression.
Mm.
People didn't like that. It was derisively known as Franksgiving. And in 1941, he did reluctantly sign a bill making Thanksgiving the fourth Thursday in November. Because they didn't like having it moved. People don't like change.
Yeah.
So that brings
People
us...
don't like change?
I know.
Huh.
That brings us to modern history. So a few things that we know about in modern history for Thanksgiving. Now that we're past the dark part, we can just pretend it didn't exist like we always
Happy
do.
Thanksgiving, y'all.
Happy Thanksgiving. So parades.
Mm-hmm.
Those are part of Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Did you know that the first Macy's Day Parade was in 1924?
I did, but the only reason I knew that is because I've got some quizzing for you, and now I can't ask you that question.
Well, it was in 1924 to celebrate the opening of the world's largest store.
Mm.
It was 1 million square feet. So they threw this parade. The first parade
1 million square feet.
The first parade matched the theme with the window displays, as you know, department stores do big window displays. It was nursery rhymes. So they had Mother Goose, Old Woman Who Lived in a Shoe, Little Miss Muffet, like floats that looked like this, right? Going down the street. They also had the employees dressed up as clowns, cowboys, and sword-wielding knights.
They don't do the knights, but I think they still do the
clowns
and the cowboys.
Yeah. They also had a bunch of animals on loan from Central Park Zoo. So walking down the street, they had bears, elephants, camels, and monkeys.
Hopefully in cages with some...
No, like on a leash.
Bears on a leash.
Yes. The animals clearly did not like it. It was only, I think, a 6 mile or something like that.
Only 6 miles?
I don't even know.
I couldn't walk 6 miles.
I don't remember what it was. But the animals didn't like it. They got tired, so they would start to kind of freak out a little bit and roar and not like it. And people got scared. So in 1927, they replaced the zoo animals with the floating balloons we currently see. So that's why they do the floating balloons, because apparently bears are scary.
Interesting.
Then, of course, the Thanksgiving Day Parade ends with Santa coming in on the sleigh. He did that the very first one to usher in the Christmas shopping season. Today is the largest parade that we've got, and the most famous, and it attracts 2 to 3 million spectators in person and countless other people watching on TV.
We're usually one of those people.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that is synonymous with Thanksgiving is the turkey pardon. Mm-hmm. Harry Truman is actually the first one that started that.
Oh. I went to Truman Elementary when I was a child. Yeah, Harry Truman.
Well, okay, so he's credited with starting it. But actually, the first ceremonial turkey, John F. Kennedy was the first one to let a turkey go. Followed by Richard Nixon, who sent his turkey to a petting zoo. And it was George H.W. Bush who formalized the turkey pardoning in 1989.
Go.
So that's only been very recent.
Yeah.
Today, nearly 90% of Americans eat turkey for Thanksgiving, and they cook it all sorts of different ways. We also have other traditional foods like stuffing, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, and pumpkin pie.
So you're taking some of my stuff now.
Well, sorry.
And we've got 5 minutes left.
Well.
So thank you for the history lesson.
I'm sorry. There's a lot of history.
And you love history. Are you done?
Yes.
With your history? Okay. All right. Well, then let's go ahead and start the game show turkey.
I like it.
It's fun.
What's your best turkey sound?
Let's see. What would my best turkey sound be? What's yours?
Well, I mean, like, bloop, bloop, give me your best turkey.
I just scared the shit out of Fergie.
Okay, game show time.
Game show time. All right. So, okay. First, we're gonna, since you were talking about food, right? This is a ranking of the most favorite foods. Now, this is local, and this was this year done by NBC DFW.
Okay.
So keep in mind, this is, kind of a little bit more Texas
A little
specific.
more southern.
So, are you ready to hear what the order is?
Yes.
Okay. This is interesting, actually. Okay, guess what number 1 is?
Turkey.
No.
What?
What were you saying is your favorite?
Stuffing.
Yeah.
Dressing.
Yeah, stuffing,
Wow.
dressing. What do you think is number 2?
Mashed potatoes.
You're right.
Oh.
That is mashed potatoes. Guess what number 3 is?
Green beans.
No.
What is it?
Mac and cheese.
Oh.
I don't
Okay,
know.
yeah, that's very southern.
Do we have... Oh, yeah, I guess that is kind of a southern thing, because we don't usually do mac and cheese. Now, number 4 is interesting, because it goes with a couple of the things, but it's way before one of them, so I don't know.
Turkey?
No.
Cranberry sauce?
No.
I don't know.
What else can go on turkey and the mashed potatoes?
Gravy.
Correct. And then rounding out the top 5, it's a meat.
Turkey. Ham.
Turkey ham. I don't know what turkey ham is. It was indeed ham. You were correct. Ham was the key there. Turkey is actually all the way at number 7.
Well, people are crazy.
Bread or rolls, number 6. 8 was sweet potatoes, 9 is scalloped potatoes, and 10 is green beans. So, there you go. That's because they haven't had your green beans.
Although this year we're changing it up, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because we're not having the bacon green beans, huh?
Nope.
I was starting to drool. We might have to do that at a later time. All right. So, with the couple minutes we have left, here's a few more trivia things for you. Take a guess. Ready? How much did the world's most expensive Thanksgiving dinner on record cost?
$1,000.
I'll give you a hint. It was provided by the Old Homestead Steakhouse in Manhattan.
Oh,
it served 12 people.
$5,000.
We'll continue here with the hits. It included 2 20-pound free-range turkeys, covered in $2,000 worth of edible gold flakes.
Oh my gosh, well that's just stupid.
And seasoned with imported spices from the Middle East.
Alright, then $20,000.
That came with gravy infused with a 3,650 bottle of Louis XVIII cognac. The meal also included seafood bread stuffing, made with imported bread and champagne, Alaskan king crab, lobster, otoro tuna, and golden caviar from the Caspian Sea, along with candied sweet potatoes made from imported cinnamon from Sri Lanka and butternut squash.
This is just getting stupid.
With Indian imported spices and Wagyu beef, along with cranberry sauce, veggies, and more. And of course, it included pumpkin, apple, coconut custard, and pecan pies, along with a choice of Cristal and Dom Perignon champagne or wine.
Yeah, this is definitely like $50,000.
$181,000.
That's insane.
That is insane. Okay. Hey, in your history, did you find out how many women were at the very first Thanksgiving celebration?
Oh, I remember reading it, but I don't remember what it was. It was like 3?
Ooh, so close. 4 is what is generally accepted. It could be 5. But they were all of which were married to men who were part of the first group of settlers.
Well, clearly the men did the cooking then.
Yeah. Let's see. You already answered that question, so we won't say that. Do you know which city's Thanksgiving Day parade ends with Santa Claus getting a key to the city?
No.
Detroit.
Wow.
Yeah, so Santa Claus has a lot of keys to Detroit. He doesn't have to use chimneys there.
No, he just can go
He
right
just uses the
front
city
door.
key. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, how much does the heaviest turkey on record weigh?
60 pounds.
86.
Oh.
So you got a 6 in the double digits, right? So that's impressive. Did you know there was a town that canceled Thanksgiving because they couldn't make pumpkin pies?
No.
So it was Colchester, Connecticut. I won't make you guess that, but I thought that was funny.
Why couldn't they make the pies?
So a frigid bout of cold weather in the middle of October led to the Connecticut River freezing, so settlers couldn't get the usual liquid sugar shipped on time from across the pond. Thus, the townspeople decided to postpone the holiday for a week in 1705. It was so legendary, Rosemill Powers actually wrote a poem about it in July 1908 issue of Good Housekeeping.
Oh.
This list comes from Good Housekeeping.
Oh, okay.
So, that's interesting. This one, I'll be very interested to see if you know who this is. What professional football team has played almost every Thanksgiving since 1934?
Cowboys.
No. It was the Detroit Lions.
Oh. Yes, that's true, too.
Yeah. So, I thought that was funny because I thought for sure you'd go for the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah. So. That's one of the things I look forward to the most on Thanksgiving.
Yep. All right. Do you know what President Calvin Coolidge famously received as a Thanksgiving gift?
No.
It came in November 1926 from Vinnie Joyce of Nitayuma, Mississippi. It was a live raccoon. And
what did he even do with that?
It was supposed to be used as Thanksgiving dinner.
Wow.
However, he became so smitten with the furry animal that he pardoned it and adopted it as a pet. Guess what he named it?
What? Turkey?
Rebecca.
Oh my gosh. Rebecca the turkey raccoon, or the Thanksgiving raccoon.
Why has nobody come up with that before?
I don't know.
I don't either. All right, so we are a little over time. Thank you for playing. And you know what this means, what we're ushering in shortly.
Christmas.
I thought this sounded a bit like the Great British Baking Show. So they do look like it's coming.
It's coming.
We'll be decorating this weekend. This
Next week.
Coming weekend. Yeah. So we wish you a happy Thanksgiving, even though we've ruined the holiday for you with dark history.
The dark but true.
Yes. And we'll all know about Rebecca the Thanksgiving raccoon. So we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Merry Thanksgiving. I thought, I didn't realize this was so long. I apologize. Here, we'll do it with a turkey novel. Nope, we won't. It's broken apparently. That's why it's keeping going.
Okay.
I fixed it.
Thanks.
So, anyway, that's all for today, Dink Nation.
Until next time,
Keep dinking around.